Hey, Springboard fans, welcome back. Did you know I happen to be in a cult?
Dude, you got like 88 subscribers.
88 subscribers. I guess saying I have fans is probably a bit of an embellishment, but I'll give this thing my all, whatever that's worth. What I want to talk to you about is 2028, but I'll get to that in just a second. We got this whole cult thing to get out of the way first. You see, the thing is, and I wasn't aware of this, apparently, when I went to the polls in 2016 and voted for Donald Trump, well, I must have inadvertently signed up to become a member of a cult, this whole MAGA thing. I thought it just stood for Make America Great Again, a slogan Reagan used in 1980 and Bill Clinton took up in 91 and then used again for his wife when she was running in 2008. But I guess it's all Trump's now. And by the way, what a horrible thing to say. Who wants a great America anyway? We should have just handed this place off to hell in a handbasket years ago. But anyway, I'm in a cult, so that just means I have no mind of my own. I don't remember exactly when I lost my mind, but for sure it apparently happened in 2016, according to certain documents. Every thought I ever had about anything, poof, just gone. And I have no idea where the hell it went. That reminds me, Hannity comes on at 8 Central on Fox. I need my guidance for tomorrow's thoughts. You know, he really helps me with some of that. And we have a lot of leaders, but he's a pretty big deal, if I can just say that. Okay, 2028. Let's talk about that for a minute because a lot of people in my cult have said we ought to find a way to make it possible for Trump to have a third term. I mean, he deserves it, right? I mean, sure, we've got that whole 22nd Amendment thing, but we can just find a way around that. I think a lot of people have told me I'm not supposed to be in favor of the Constitution anyway. After all, who needs a Constitution when you have a king, right? Speaking of that, I really wish Trump could make up his mind what he wants to be. It gets confusing, you know. One day he's a dictator, the next he's a king, and, you know, he goes back and forth being a fascist. I guess it's because he's not really that smart. People tell me that all the time. Well, not my fellow cult people. To us, he's everything, and he can do no wrong, you know. Am I laying on the snark and sarcasm a bit thick here? Let me know in the comments. I guess I got to thinking I was being too formal in my previous videos and thought maybe I'd try something a little different. You know, maybe just throw in just a slight touch of humor. You know, truth be told, does political commentary always have to be dead serious anyway? When you really think about it, there's actually a lot of comedy in the entire political process, and sometimes you just have to come at it with that in mind. If you don't laugh at it sometimes, you really can go crazy. And I'll tell you, with the way the political climate looks these days, I think a lot of people have already done that. On both sides, by the way, just to be clear. Which dials me right back around to 2028, and some people on my side hoping for, wishing for, and even advocating seriously for the idea of Trump running for a third term. I guess I'm supposed to be all over that because, again, I'm in a cult. If my leaders tell me Trump should go for a third term, I'm supposed to just blindly go along with that. But okay, let me get serious for a moment here. I am not in a cult, and no one thinks for me. I have my own thoughts, my own positions, my own opinions, and no, I do not support changing the 22nd Amendment for any reason or based on any justification, including thoughts or ideas that Trump won in 2020 or whether or not Joe Biden was a legitimately elected president. Those are different questions. Those are different arguments. We can debate that forever. It has no bearing on what I know now to be true, even if I'd be fair to say I also have some questions. Doesn't matter. The record is the record. The law is the law. It's clear. And here's the other part. I don't want to contribute to the idea that I'm in a cult or fan the fire for the No Kings crowd. It's always been an accusation, not a fact. Right now, if you were to ask me who I'm rooting for in 2028, it's Vance or Rubio. And right now, I'd support a Vance Rubio ticket, but I'll admit that's getting way ahead of myself. So I don't really want to talk much about what's going to be my position in 2028 just yet. We got plenty of time to talk about all that later. Even asking me the question, if somehow we did manage to bypass the 22nd Amendment and Trump did run for a third term, would I vote for him is to me a silly question to even entertain. Because it's not going to happen. It's just not. It's nonsense talk. In 2028, we will have primaries and we will have candidates running on both sides, and the American people will make a choice, just like we have done for the past 250 years. 3 and 4 year term presidents ended with FDR, and that's that. No one will get me to change my mind about that. And I see no reason to even entertain the idea, even if I support Trump and his leadership. Despite what I get accused of, I've always believed in a strong balance of power and not limiting the choice of Americans. We will have an election, and people will decide if the country will be led by red or blue for the next 4 or 8 years. The bottom line for me is this: we need not to look for Donald Trump to carry our baton forward. We need to make a well-informed choice about who is best to carry it after him. I'll admit, we got it very wrong after Reagan, automatically assuming George H.W. Bush was the right guy for the job. That invariably cost us another 8 years in the White House. On our side, we need to look at all angles and decide our choice based on what we see, what we hear, and not simply assume. But it won't be Donald Trump on the ticket. Most people, even most true conservatives, wouldn't support that either. We're not in a cult. We hold the Constitution closely as the most important and sacred document of our land. We understand fundamentally what the intentions of our founding fathers were and what they wanted to avoid when they built this nation. We did not want kings, and for years we never had one. FDR changed our minds about the possibility, and we wrote the 22nd Amendment. For a reason. We don't need Donald Trump to lead the agenda himself. He's laid the groundwork. Now it's up to the American people to decide in 2028 what to do with that. It's up to the American people to decide if they agree that's the right direction or not. It's up to the American people to decide where we go next. As for the people seriously considering and talking about 2028 Trump run, maybe they are in a cult. Maybe they have lost their minds. Maybe they will do whatever they are told and not think on their own. But that's not me. And just for the record, let me just say this. I took an oath to the Constitution officially myself back in 1992. And when I did that, I didn't just raise my right hand and recite the words. I made a genuine promise, one that did not end when I returned to civilian life in 1996. It's a promise I will live by and defend at any cost until the day I die. Here's the thing. I don't vote for people. I vote for leaders who will honor the ideas that made this country great and who I believe will carry that torch respectfully, honorably, and in the best interest of all Americans and the country I love. That person in 2028 cannot be Donald Trump. And the only way he would get my vote now then would be if I were willing to abandon everything I believe in. And let me just say for the record, and with a very straight face, that's not going to happen, even if it were made possible for him to run. Well, so much for being in a cult.